Waking up early always feels terrible, which is why it's so valuable. In life, what I've learned through my experience is that in life, if you do something that feels good in the moment, it usually doesn't benefit you in the long run. But if you do something that feels horrible in the moment, it'll usually benefit you in the long run. So that's to say, early mornings are the biggest example of that. In my life and in my experience, that's been the way I've been able to check myself, been disciplined, consistent with something, is to wake up early and to feel terrible. Because, honestly, I'm not a morning person. It feels horrible. Every single time I wake up early, it feels terrible. I don't want to do it, and today was the worst of days, but I'll get into that shortly. But waking up in the morning, it it differentiates you, it makes you stronger, better, it allows you to get more done, and as a result you become a better person through your experiences. And throughout my life, I've had moments where I was getting up early and moments in my life where I was not getting up early every day. So what happened today is, last night I had a very late football practice and I got home super late. I didn't get in bed until 1 a.m. But this morning I woke up at 6:30. So I got 5.5 hours of sleep, maybe a little bit less actually because of how long it took me to fall asleep. But about 5.5 hours of sleep, and I woke up, I felt terrible, horrible. It was probably the worst I felt in a while, like because of such, how little sleep I had. And to what I usually do in the mornings is I wake up, I come downstairs, I do a workout first and foremost before doing anything else. Actually, well, first I pray, but then I do a workout, and and then I eat breakfast, and then I get into my work. That's the order of my mornings. So today, the workout was the hardest workout I've ever done in probably a long time, because I was just so tired, so heavy, so sore, and I was feeling all of it. I was feeling all the pain when it comes to physical pain, hunger, tiredness, laziness. Every single thing that you feel in a moment of pain when you're waking up in the morning, I felt today in heightened ways, in the worst way possible. And I'm glad I did it. I'm here now. It's about 11 a.m. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad that I decided to get up early this morning when, I don't really have anything else to do. I could have slept in theory, but I know what it's like when you sleep in. And I know the difference in meaning and purpose in your life when you wake up early. So I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went through the pain, because after the workout, I felt better. I went outside, got some fresh air, and now I'm here and I'm finally into my work and recording this episode. But waking up early is an amazing example of how life works. Exactly what I said in the beginning of this episode. The fact that difficult things that you hate doing and that make you feel like crap and give you pain actually, in the long run, benefit you or make you feel good even in the long run. In the case of the early morning workout, you feel like crap because you're tired, but by the time you're done, you're awake. You feel more clarity, and you feel that buzz and those hormones that get released after any workout and after sweating. And that's a very good example of how life works. So if you want to really experience life, if you're a little bit younger and you're kind of like me, my age, around my age, or a little bit younger, and you haven't really experienced life that much, a good way to get a taste of how life is to just get up early, especially when you don't have to. Get up early every morning during the week. You can sleep in one or both days on the weekend. That's how I do it. That's how my schedule works. Wake up early every single day of the week, sleep in on Saturday, and at a time there was waking up early on Sunday. Other times you sleep in Sunday too. But it's to show you that, yeah, that's the exact pain that you're going to be feeling on a day-to-day basis throughout majority of your adult life. Because then at that point, if you have a job or you go to university or something like that, you have to get up. There's no choice involved. You got to get up. So if you can force yourself up when you don't have to get up, it'll allow you to understand these things that will be coming up in your life, and it will allow you to feel the difficulty that happens in life. And and for me personally, it gives me the strength and the confidence and the knowledge to know that I was able to get through this. So as a result, you know, any other thing that plagues me, I'll be much stronger to fight against it because of, the mentality that I'm building from waking up early in the morning, especially when that's the one thing I really don't like doing. And it goes back to a couple of previous episodes that it's doing the things that you don't want to do. And the last episode was how to live an extraordinary life. I encourage you to go watch it because it was a very good episode, very deep dive into how to live a great life. But in that episode, I did talk about how you got to do difficult things that you don't want to do every day, because a lot of people won't do them. They won't do them because they're hard. But if you're able to push through your mental barriers and do it, then it will make you a better person and it will separate you from a lot of other people. And for me, early mornings are that exact thing. And I'm going to compare how you feel in waking up early in the morning to how you feel waking up late, sleeping until 10. Some people sleeping even later, but I'll just use myself as an example. Sleeping until 10, 11, let's say. I wake up at that time, I don't even feel good. I've slept 8, 9, 10 hours. I feel terrible. Not only do I feel like lazy and I don't want to do anything because, that's how you feel when you wake up late, but I just I don't even I don't even feel energized. I don't sometimes you feel good when you wake up at that time. I don't even feel that. So then I look at that, I'm like, well, why am I doing that? Right? Why would I sleep in like that if I don't feel like, if I don't even feel the good feeling that's supposed to come from sleeping in? Why do that? Sometimes you might feel the good feeling, but if you sleep in every single day, you're not going to feel the good feeling, and you're just going to feel the tired and lazy effects of waking up at 10. And it's a different feeling to when you wake up early. Because when you wake up early, regardless of the time, I'd say before sunrise is what I would consider early. So anywhere maybe 7, right? 7 or earlier. If you're waking up at that time, that's what I would consider to be early. And it's you're tired, but it's a different feeling of tiredness. And it depends. If first of all, it encourages you to be in bed earlier too, which also is another thing that helps you out, right? Being in bed earlier, and you can still get your 8 hours of sleep and wake up early. You'll feel a little bit crappy, but you'll actually, again, it will benefit you in the long run in comparison to if you sleep in. And so that's the comparison, is that you still kind of feel crappy when you sleep in every day. So why not get up early? And, at least you get to get more done. You don't have to go and do the workout, but you can get up early, do some work, or do something productive. And, the knowledge of doing that, just you get stuff done. And it betters you in the long run. It shapes your mind to being used to it, and it can make you more of a morning person. A lot of people want to be morning people, but they aren't. The first step to becoming a morning person is getting up earlier, and, when you don't want to. When you feel like crap, when you feel like, the bed's super comfy and you want to go back in bed, don't succumb to that temptation. And the more times you do it, the more consistent you get with it, the easier it will be to do. But the main thing that waking up early in the morning does is differentiate yourselves from others. A lot of people get up early in the morning because they have to. They have to go to work. They have to go to school. What you're doing, or what I'm doing even, when getting up early in the morning, is we get up because we want to, because we choose to. And the idea that we choose to versus being forced to, it's a mindset building thing to say that we're stronger, right? We're stronger of mind, and we're building our mind up, and we're strengthening ourselves to be even better, to prepare for life's big problems and big circumstances that might happen, and how you're going to deal with it. Waking up early in the morning, dealing with the tiredness of it, is a great way to do that. And of course, again, I mentioned it earlier, you push through pain to feel great after. So it actually feels terrible. And again, you have to do it, right? You have to do it enough times, right? You have to have enough 4 or 5 hour nights, like 5 hours of sleep nights, to really know how it feels. Like when you're in that moment that I was kind of in today, where you feel that tired, that bad, everything is pointing for you to go back to bed, but you don't. And then when you finish the workout, you feel great after, because it's the fulfillment that you were able to do something hard, and you're able to push through your brain's tiredness to still get the workout in and still be productive, and it makes you feel better. And again, it's where the hard becomes good, right? The hard becomes beneficial to you. And that's a way of life. And again, I touched upon it earlier. And of course, you just get more done, man. Like, how great is the feeling when you wake up super early, you do a workout, you do a work, you do some projects, you work for a few hours, maybe you do some reading, and you've done all that before anybody else has woken up. Before anyone else has even gotten out of bed, you've done all that. You've pretty much finished everything you need to do for the day before people have even gotten out of bed. And I've had days like that myself personally. Usually on holidays, because of course on weekdays people have to wake up to go to work and school. But like on like a holiday, I'll be up early most of the time, because that's the way I see holidays. I see holidays as a way to work even harder rather than as a way to slow down and relax. That's what I did a couple days ago on Canadian Thanksgiving. And I'm up early, and people are, because it's a holiday, people are not going to get up till 10, 11, even 12, maybe even later for some people. And so I'm getting up, and I've done all my work before people are even out of bed. And that's what happened on Monday. I finished all of my work, everything I needed to do for that day, before people were even out of bed. So then I was able to actually spend some time with my family and enjoy stuff, right? So it's just the knowledge that you're doing so much more than everyone else, and you're making more of the time, right? The time that you're spending on this planet. And okay, you're sacrificing a few hours of sleep some nights, but that's okay, because you know that it's all going to be worth it in the end. You know that this grind is going to lead you to something greater, and it's going to lead you to being a better person every single day. That's what we do, is we strive to be better every single day. And waking up early is an absolutely crucial tool to doing that. So as for the timing, when should you get up? When would be like the best time to get up to get stuff done? Me personally, I do 6:30 in the morning. That's only because that's the time I'm used to. That's the time I woke up to go to school when I was in high school a bunch of years ago. So it's the time that I'm used to the most, and it's still super early. It's still before the sunrise, and it's still before everyone else. But you can get up earlier. You can do 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, if you're daring enough, even 4, right? Just to get up and do stuff, right? If you have the stuff to do something. For me personally, I don't get up at 5 o'clock only because I don't have enough to do. I'd probably figure out stuff to do. But like if I got up at 5 o'clock, there'd be a lot of dead space in between. I think 6:30 is good because it allows me to get everything done in the morning. But if you want to get up early, you can absolutely get up earlier. Like, the earlier the better, in my opinion, because I think the earlier it is, the worse you'll feel. You also have to, be careful, right? Know your body, know how much sleep you can handle, know how little sleep you can work on. So how low are the hours of sleep that you can? What's the lowest number of hours of sleep you can have in a night and still feel decently well enough to have a good productive day? For me personally, I know that if my sleep starts with the number 5, like if it's 5 hours or low, like 5.5 hours or lower, I know I'll feel like crap for the day, and I know I'm just gonna have to get through it. Today is one of those days, but I'm here on this episode, and I'm here recording for that exact reason, for the discipline and the consistency of it. But if you know that you've slept 3-4 hours and you're okay, and you've been fine, and you've been able to have great productive days regardless, or you drink a lot of coffee, then you can do that. But it's about the discipline, it's about the consistency, it's about knowing it. If you can't even function on 6 hours or even 7 hours, well then, if you want to start getting up early, you have to be in bed earlier at a consistent basis, of course, and B, you don't have to wake up at 5, do 7, right? 7 a.m. is still pretty good. 7:30 is still pretty good. Still earlier than most people. Like let's say on a weekday, on a weekend, forget about it. It's earlier than the vast majority of people. Even on a weekday, it's still a little bit earlier. So you have to know your body. You have to know, and you can only do that through experience. You can only do that through actually testing out different wake up times and figuring out which one works best for you. I found mine. I found my zone, and even today where I feel like complete crap, I was still able to do it, still able to get up, and still able to get stuff done, which is, again, the whole point of waking up early in the morning. So know your body, but it doesn't have to be 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock. It can be a little earlier if you want. If you want to go on that David Goggins arc, truly, and it's not just a motivational thing, you want to do that on a consistent basis, right? That's also something you have to know, right? I'm going to interject my own point here to say that if you're going to get up at 4 a.m., you should get up at 4 a.m. every day, right? Know that it's not going to be a one-time thing. You get up at 4 a.m., you go on your David Goggins arc, you go for a run, right? You go run a 10K or whatever you're going to do, right? You can't do that just once. You have to do that every day. Otherwise, it ruins the point. It's the consistency of doing it, and days where you feel okay and you're able to push through, and days where you feel like complete crap, but you're still able to push through it. It's those days that builds consistency, and it builds you up, and it gives you more fulfillment, because at the end of the morning you get to lunchtime, and you've pretty much done everything you've needed to do for the day by choice. You chose to get up early, you chose to do the workout, and you chose to do all your work, and you did it. You weren't forced to do any of it, but you chose to, and that gives you good peace and good comfort in yourself that you're growing every day. And that's the kind of state I personally am in right now, and I still have a ways to go, of course, as we all do, but I'm getting there. So that's what you want to do when you're waking up early. And to be great, to be extraordinary, you have to sleep less anyway. You have to sacrifice hours of sleep anyway. There's just not enough hours in the day to get stuff done. You're not going to get 8 hours of sleep every night. I don't think I've gotten 8 hours of sleep at all in the last 2 weeks. You have to be prepared. You have to absolutely accept that there will be some days where if you want to be great, you got to push that extra mile. You're going to have to go through days where you have 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours of sleep. Most of my sleep falls within 6 to 7 hours of sleep. But some days it's earlier. Like today it was less. For you, it might be even less. So you have to know that to be successful, because so few people are actually willing to do it, because the mainstream narrative is just, oh, you need 8 hours of sleep every night, right? That's the narrative. But that's what you want if you want to live a standard normal life. But I assume if you're here and if you've watched this far, you don't want to live a standard normal life. You want to be someone that makes a dent in this world and actually makes the most of your time and builds yourself up and grows every day. So that means that you're going to have to sacrifice sleep at times. Not every day, but at times. And especially when you wake up early in the morning, if you're not disciplined enough with the time you're in bed, or if things come up and you can't be in bed at an early time, that's what happened to me last night, then you're just going to have to push through it. You either choose to be lazy and sleep in, or you push through it and you'll get more value and benefit from it in the long run, to know that you've been consistent with it, rather than just say, it's okay, I'll sleep in one day, it's no big deal, right? That's the difference. So just remember that. Just remember that when choosing the time you want to wake up, when choosing a schedule, know that you have to be consistent with it. Otherwise, it won't stick. It won't stick. It won't hit deep with you, and it won't make you a better person if you're not consistent with it. So pick a time you can be consistent with. But pick a time that's early enough, before sunrise, before other people are getting up, because it'll allow you to get more done before anyone else even wakes up. And know your body. Know your body. Know how many hours of sleep you can function on, how little hours of sleep you can function on. And make a plan. Make a plan, because I highly encourage all of you, each and every one of you, to wake up early every day. And if you're already waking up early, maybe wake up even earlier. If you go to work, you work a job, and job starts at 9, you wake up at 8, try waking up at 7. Seeing if you can, work on a side hustle for a bit, or even do like a quick workout in the morning before you would normally be awake. And I tell you, and I can assure you that it will help you in your life. So yeah, try it out. Try it out. Go do it. Experiment. It's not going to be easy. You have to do it to really figure out just how painful some days, some mornings will truly be, just how tired you truly feel. But you have to experiment to know, you know, where are you actually pushing too far. Like, I've had days where I've, actually felt like nauseous and I was dizzy when I wake up early because I was on that little amount of sleep. So on those days, you got to really realize, okay, right? Like, you're not trying to kill yourself, right? You're not trying to completely destroy yourself, but you're just trying to be just that more disciplined than the average person. And getting into that, top 1% of people, it's not about the money you make. It's not about your physical body. It's about what's up here. It's about what's in your mind that really separates you from the vast majority of people. So go experiment. If it doesn't work, if you feel that, right, you're waking up early and you're feeling way too bad, then, wake up a little later. Or maybe start waking up a little later. Start with 7, 8 o'clock if you need to, because you're just not used to the feeling of waking up super early. Start with that and slowly move down until you're waking up early every day. And I can assure you it will help you in your life and it'll help you grow to heights never before seen in yourself. And when it comes to being a disciplined person, of course, it all starts with the morning and it all starts with getting up as early as you possibly can, doing a workout or doing whatever you need to do so you can have a productive day and you can make the most of your time on this planet.